Hello. For the supply and demand in multiple dimensions assignment this week, what I'm asking you to do is to pick any one item, good, or service. And I want you to examine that item, good, or service. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw and explain the current supply and demand curve for any given product, good, or service. So we'll say it's Nike shoes. So for the supply, we're going to draw some supply curve, and for some demand, we're going to draw some demand curve. Now, part of the explanation will be for this demand curve, it's unit inelastic, so which means for the price, it's not going to change as much over quantity. Okay? And just saying we have some equilibrium point here, E. The second part is drawing and explaining at least 10 and up to 25 separate examples of various determinants that will affect supply, and the shifts that will occur, and the change in equilibrium. So we'll say minimum wage increases from $7.25 an hour to $7.75 an hour. What will that do to the supply curve? Well, it's going to increase the cost of the supply curve. Therefore, if it increases the cost of the supply curve itself will shift to the left to indicate that less will be produced at any given price point. So the new supply curve will be some point over here. You'll see a change in equilibrium. And the change in equilibrium means that there was an increase in price and a decrease in quantity, because quantity went from point here to here and price went from a point here to here. Increase in price, decrease in quantity. And then you'll come up with multiple examples of that. So remember, go back, review all the various determinants of supply, all the various determinants of demand, and come up with multiple graphs and examples and explanations of what's going on. And for each one, try and draw out a different example. And so you can have it on multiple lines here. Just be sure that you delineate this is supply 1 with a statement saying this is what happens in supply 1. In instance 2, we'll say that Nike shoes, that Reebok increased their prices, okay, and then explain how Reebok increasing their prices might affect the demand for Nike shoes. Well, if Reebok increases the prices, right, do we have either a complementary or substitute good? If so, what happens to the demand curve? We'll say demand increases. So we'll say demand increases here. And we come up to a new equilibrium point, B2. These are our new demand 2 line. And then for that, okay, from our original equilibrium point to our new equilibrium point, we can see that the quantity increased as well as the price increased. And then you come up with the third one, and so on and so on.